Hi everybody, Cohh here with a quick rundown of the build I've been using for my Rage Mage run in Elden Ring. This build is incredibly strong. I can one-shot most bosses, and although I'm sure as I move into the harder ones, that's not going to be the case. And most enemies can be killed at range relatively easily, especially since I've already played through the game and kind of know most of their movesets from my dual sword dex user. So that being said, or two-hand dex user. That being said, let's go over the build real quick, and I'll kind of let you know how we're doing, and what we're dealing with. So first of all, here are the stats for this build. This build is heavily int focused, as you can see. We have 80 int, but it actually maxes out at 70 int. We have 5 extra int from a talisman, and we have 5 extra int because we are running a runed out Godric rune. So Great Rune, which both add 5 to it. 45 vigor, again, 5 to all stats because of the Godric rune. So we have, I think right now, about 40 vigor, 35 mind, not much endurance at all. We don't really need too much endurance with this. And my kind of dump stat right now, as I keep getting levels, is dexterity to help with casting speed. The build itself revolves around 2 things in particular. First of all, we use the Sat's Glintstone staff. This is a staff that you get later in the game over here in Caelid. You will get to a point called Celia Town of Sorcery. There are a bunch of, there's 3 actually, torches you can light. You light one of those torches, which will open a gate right about here. Inside is a relatively easy 2-boss encounter, especially for this build, and you can go in there and loot the staff. The second staff is the Meteorite Great Staff, or just Meteorite Staff. This staff does not level. It starts with high sorcery and is great for early game, but the big thing that we use with this is that it has a passive bonus to gravity skills, which is the Rock Sling skill, which is a very big spell for this build. You get that right down here, in the Streets of Sage Ruins. So what you can do for this particular one is you can actually go, and you can actually do this at the beginning of the game. So if you want to get a great boost early game, and that's get Rock Sling and the Meteorite Staff, what you want to do is go down here to the Dragon Burnt Ruins. You will open a chest, which will warp you over to here, the Celia Crystal Tunnels. When you are in there, you go out the door, go to the left, and then sprint your way out of the tunnel, dodge rolling as fast as possible, as there are mobs that are going to be throwing big spells at you. Once you get out of the crystal tunnel, just run south and then to the west. In here, you are looking for a normal crypt entrance, which you go down and loot Rock Sling in. And then before you leave, there's a small tower around there with a corpse in it, and on that corpse is a Meteorite Staff. So you can get those early and then just kind of warp back and continue your progression through here. The only other big kind of showcase things of this build are Glintstone Ice Crag, which you get with the Ranni's quest line, I believe, through there. You also get Adula's Moonblade doing the Ranni's quest line, which is one of the first quest lines you're going to want to do. And then also the big thing is Comet Azure. Comet Azure is found in the northwest over here. The Prime Evil Sorcerer Azure. One of the easiest ways to get here is when you're in the tower down in this area. You can go to the very bottom and you'll find an Iron Maiden. If you let the Iron Maiden eat you and it kills you, then you will pop up in the Volcano Manor, and you can actually work your way through there, kill a 2 Iron Maiden boss, and then you will pop up at a body of water. And if you follow that body of water all the way, it will basically take you to where Primeval Sorcerer Azure is, who's also a member of the Selin quest, which you'll probably want to do as well. So, the big things about this build, because you use Ranni's helmet in particular, you will have a bonus to ice damage. So using Glintstone Ice Crag, a fantastic extra little damage boost there. And also, of course, as you do Ranni's questline, you will kill the Glintstone Dragon to get Adula's Moonblade, which is also ice-based, both incredibly strong spells. Now, if an enemy is ever stationary, you will also want to do this here. So first of all, you want to get the Flask of Wondrous Physics, which you pretty much will get on the way of just kind of a normal playing journey, which is at the 3rd church. You can find that guy right here. And then once you have the flask, you'll want to go up here. There's a burnt out Erd tree that you can get to here. And that will drop a very important thing for this flask, for this build, if you want to do the meme beam. And that is this guy here. Let me just find it. It's the, oh, here it is. This guy. Eliminates all FP consumption in mixed physics. So, you at that point will lay down this rune, which is called Terra Magicus. You will then fuse your Flask of Physic to reduce all FP cost to 0 for a limited amount of time. And then you will pop on your Comet Azure and hold it down. This beam does a ridiculous amount of damage to a stationary target. Now the problem is it has to stay still, because that beam ain't going anywhere. So if you do ever get to a boss where it is staying still, you can use that on it and it will blast it on down. A great example of this is most dragons have a relatively long introductory animation sequence, and you can just set up, and the second you see the dragon take a step, drop all that down, fire your laser, and you're good to go. That is the meme beam of the meme beam build for sure. Rest of the build is relatively straightforward. I use mostly mana flasks. The FP additional cost of the Lasat staff does mean that you will be using a lot of mana. You can reduce some vigor for mana if you want to be a little bit more dangerous. I also run, I think right now, 5 health flasks as well. And as a small note, the other mixed thing I use in my Wondrous Physic is the one that increases magic damage. So just kind of add all that together. So anyway, that is the build I'm currently running. It is, I do want to stress, a very strong build. There are fights that took me hours on my 2-hand sword user that I can literally walk up and do in less than 5 seconds with this build. It is a different way to play this game. It is a very overpowered compared to other builds way to play this game. Now, I'm having a great time with it, and I think you could too, but if you're not the kind of person that wants that kind of thing, this is not the build for you. So on that note, I hope you enjoy it. It's a huge amount of fun, and I am really, really digging it. So hope you enjoyed this little video. You can find me playing this and many other games at twitch.tv/CohhCarnage. Hope to see you there. And as always, thank you for watching.